we went to the Israeli school system. We were taught exactly who the heroes of the Holocaust were. We were taught about the heroes. Group number 1 of heroes, ghetto fighters. There were not many. They couldn't give us all the names. So always they gave us one name. Annie Levitch. I never met the woman before half an hour ago. Okay, but I knew she would know it. Mordechai Levitch, the commander of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. Gentleman was 24 years of age at the time. You wouldn't give him a starting position in your business at this age, but Jewish history gave him a great one. The commander of the uprising against the Nazis, armed uprising. Wow. Group number 2 of heroes of the Holocaust. People who already lived peacefully in this part of the world, yet they volunteered to the British Army to be trained as parachutists, to be dropped behind Chana Senesh. There were 31 of them. Who can do 31? They always gave us one name, Chana Senesh. Blessed is the Match, recent movie, maybe came to your community, worthwhile seeing. They were dropped behind Nazi enemy line to help our brethren. Heroes of the Holocaust perished. Group number 3, unfortunately, did not even have one name to be remembered by. We called them the partisans in the forest. First name partisan, last name forest. Thank God to Hollywood, they made defiance. Now we can say the Bielski brothers. But let's be honest, before Hollywood, not so sure. So these were our heroes. But this is the day of commemoration for the Holocaust and heroism. We have established who the heroes were. Who is Holocaust? Who is Holocaust?
6 million.
The 6 million who were killed, right. And how did they die? There was a sentence said in our presence time and again about the way they had died. And they went to
like sheep to the slaughter.
2, if not 3 generations of Jews in your part of the world and ours were raised to be allowed to sit in judgment. We were taught that it was more heroic to stand on a rooftop in the Warsaw Ghetto and throw a Molotov cocktail at the Nazis, which was pretty heroic, than it had been to share a slice of bread with another inmate in Auschwitz. This is how we were raised, right? Can you understand that the change needed to come? That with the maturing of our society, we have come to a point where we needed to, how do they say nowadays, revisit our understanding of the Holocaust, the judgmental. The change really came in the 80s and the 90s as a result of many things that I do not have the time to point out to you. So I'll take you back to a point in time that the change wasn't there yet. But when it came 20 years later, people said, wait a minute, that man had already said it in 1961, but we didn't listen. So I'm taking you back to that man. That man makes his speech in the year 1961, and the occasion is the Eichmann trial. Israel's Secret Service had located, identified, and kidnapped former SS commander Adolf Eichmann in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and brought him to Israel. And Ben-Gurion, your friend, went on the radio to announce to the nation that we have done that, and the justice will be made in Jerusalem. Any people of law in this room? Lawyers, judges, by any chance? Lawyer? Not one? In a Jewish group? My goodness! What had the world come to? Okay. So I'll just tell you the story. I'd like to introduce to you a very famous lawyer. Dr. Gideon Hausner, the Attorney General of the State of Israel in 1961, the prosecutor for the state in the Eichmann trial. Can you visualize the man in his chamber writing his opening remarks? I mean, he knows that his career may take him places. But will he ever rise beyond this moment? Independent, sovereign state of Israel, putting the trial at top Nazi responsible for the execution of the final solution, namely the systematic murder of European Jews, and he, Gideon Hausner, is going to be the prosecutor? Come on. How much higher can you go in life? He must have thought about every single word very meticulously. I will not quote the speech to you. A, it's very lengthy. They used to make lengthy speeches at the time. B, I do not know it all by heart, but I know some major paragraphs, and I'll give you a short one, the opening one. Listen up, and we'll try to sort of dissect it a little bit. He said the following: at a place where I'm standing in front of you, judges of Israel. Can you hear the biblical echo? Judges of Israel, Shoftei Israel. I do not stand alone. 6 million prosecutors are standing by me, pointing a finger at the man in the glass cage. Eichmann was protected by a bulletproof glass cage, and saying, I accuse. Where does that come from? J'accuse, Émile Zola, Dreyfus, and the Semitic trial. By the way, if you want to be a little bit critical of Israel, look at the two references, biblical and modern Zionism. Like nothing in between. No Maimonides, no Rashi, no nothing. This is a classical Israel of the 60s attitude. Ancient history and us. Diaspora doesn't exist. Okay? It changed as well. But not at the time. He continues. They, the 6 million prosecutors, cannot utter the horrible words of indictment because their ashes are scattered throughout the rivers of Europe. Let me therefore be their mouthpiece. I'm now going to rely on your knowledge, no matter how limited it is, of the Bible, of the Old Testament. There is an occasion in an Old Testament when one man is hard of speech and another is his mouthpiece.
Moses.
Who is the couple? Moses and Aaron. I know you'll be able to rise to the occasion. Who is the greater leader among the two? Moses. Who is stuttering? Who is the mouthpiece?
Aaron.
Well, Aaron, yeah. So what is Hausner saying? They are the accuser. I am only their mouthpiece. I am a mere Aaron to their Moses. We, the state of Israel, are a mere Aaron to their Moses. Wow. We were not ripe enough to listen yet, to understand what he had said to us. That we here in the state of Israel should be proud to listen to their stories and speak for them if we can. It took 20 more years. But as the witnesses came on the podium to bear testimony, Prosecutor General will not ask them, why didn't you? Speak up before. No. He will ask them, do you remember any more details, madam? Can you tell us what happened afterwards, sir? Because their story is not a story now. Their story is now the testimony. And without their stories, there is no trial. And the Eichmann trial is the first gate through which Holocaust survivors get to speak up in this country without being criticized, and we listen. Many more changes will come in the 70s and in the 80s. I will not discuss them with you today. I want to give you one major reference if you are interested in the topic. There is an amazing book that was published when it was the 40th anniversary of the trial, namely 2001. It is available in English. It's by Professor Hanna Jablonka, Yablonka, Jablonka, a professor of the Ben Gurion University History Department, available in Hebrew, Kamaran. Its very original name is the Eichmann trial, so it's not very difficult to find. There are good excerpts of it free on the internet, and it will give you an inkling, not to the Holocaust, but to the impact of the Holocaust on this country through the Eichmann trial. Okay? So by the 90s, we are ready to revisit the story and to know that that artificial separation that we have created between heroic heroes and pitiful victims is not the way to address the Holocaust. The museum you're going to visit this afternoon is a reflection of that change. You will not see that division. You will see a story that respects all Jews before. First of all, you get to know who they were before the Holocaust happened to them, and the variety of reactions that they had by hiding, by fighting, by being human to family members, by caring, by dying in the different periods of the Holocaust. I trust you will have a worthwhile afternoon today, and I thank you for coming to listen to me.